Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Saturday. Got the college football picks here. Let's hope we can have a nice weekend. Go and like and subscribe. Check out all my links in the description below to get in on this betting action this weekend. And, go ahead and sign up with Prize Picks too. If you want to prop bet on any of these college games, you can do that, which is super fun. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter in the link below. I'll be posting all kind of unique plays for all the sports here that I don't normally post on YouTube. Any other kind of opportunities, maybe live betting opportunities to hop into, I'll post those on Twitter and Instagram. So go ahead and follow me there. And we're gonna hop into it. I pretty much cover the top 25 and pretty much all the important games. So we'll hop into it. Going to start with the Auburn Tigers versus the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas opening up as 5-point favorites with the over-under at 54. You can get Arkansas on the money line at minus 190. Auburn plus 170. Auburn coming off that 34-10 loss against Georgia. Arkansas coming off that 52-51 devastating loss against Ole Miss, which they should have won. But Auburn currently, on a 5-game winning streak against Arkansas, 4-1 covering the spread against Arkansas. I just think Arkansas is the better team here. They're the better offense. Me being an Arkansas fan, definitely a biased pick here, but I like Arkansas minus 5. I think they can definitely win by a touchdown. Going to be a classic SEC battle here, but I think Arkansas on the money line is probably the better play. The spread, you just can't trust spreads with these SEC rival matchups here. Not going to do it. Love Arkansas, though. Good bounce back. Coming off of 2 losses. Give me the Razorbacks. Next matchup, we have the Florida Gators versus the LSU Tigers. Florida opening up as 12-point favorites with the over-under at 59.5. You can get Florida on the money line at minus 450. LSU plus 380. Florida coming off that 42-0 win over Vanderbilt. LSU coming off that 42-21 loss against Kentucky. Last year LSU beat Florida with a big upset, 37-34. Florida 2-6 against LSU, 1-4 on the road against LSU. They've struggled against LSU pretty historically. LSU 16-4 at home. Different kind of LSU team here. They haven't looked that great on offense here. Got to roll with Florida. I just don't trust LSU. I don't hate the 12 points. I think it could be pretty close, but hard to trust this really bad offense and defense that LSU has. Going to take Florida coming off that 42-0 win over Vandy. Give me Florida minus 12. Take them on the money line as well. Next matchup, we have the Michigan State Spartans versus the Indiana Hoosiers. Michigan State opening up as 4.5-point favorites with the over-under at 48.5. You can get Michigan State on the money line at minus 177. Indiana plus 165. Michigan State coming off that 31-13 win over Rutgers. Indy coming off that 24-0 loss against Penn State. Michigan State looking really good now on a 6-game winning streak, undefeated, playing really good football here. 10-2 against Indiana. Yeah, I love Michigan State. I've been riding them all season. They, so far this first half of the season, they've been playing really awesome. And Indiana's we're really overhyped to begin the season. They have been a major letdown. I'll take Michigan State. I don't love the minus 4.5. I think it's gonna be a lot closer game. I like Michigan State more as a money line play, but I'm probably gonna buy a 1.5 to get them at minus 3 or minus 2.5, whatever line you can find. But we're gonna roll with the Spartans. All right, next matchup, we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys versus the Texas Longhorns. Texas opening up as 3.5-point favorites with the over-under at 60. You can get Texas on the money line at minus 163. Oklahoma State plus 155. Oklahoma State coming off that 24-14 win over Baylor. Texas coming off that, very tough loss against Oklahoma, 55-48, a game they let them come back and win, which was an unbelievable game. Oklahoma State currently on a 7-game winning streak, playing really good football. Texas playing good too, 9-3 in their last 12. This just is I just think this is a trap game for Oklahoma State. I really do. They're the better team rank-wise, number 12 in the nation. Underdogs plus 3.5. I've seen these lines all season with, ranked teams playing unranked teams and being the underdogs. And man, have those games have been kind of crazy here. I just like Texas. I think they're more talented here, especially on offense. It's going to be a real test for Oklahoma State here, but I think Texas is the better team here. I'm going to roll with Texas. Going to buy a point, get them at -2.5. Take Texas on the money line as well. Next matchup, we have the Texas A&M Aggies versus the Missouri Tigers. A&M opening up as 11-point favorites with the over-under at 59.5. You can get A&M on the money line at -385. Missouri plus 340. A&M coming off, the biggest win of their history, beating Bama 41-38, knocking off the top dog. Missouri coming off a 48-35 win over North Texas. I mean, this just has to be the momentum game for A&M. I mean, coming off, you couldn't ask for a better performance for A&M, beating Alabama. Hopefully they can carry this momentum in Missouri and beat them up pretty good. I'll take A&M -11. Take A&M on the money line too, coming off of, their best win of all time, probably. Rolling with A&M. Next matchup, we have the UCF Knights versus the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati opening up as 21.5-point favorites with the over-under at 56.5. You can get Cincy on the money line at -1400. UCF plus 910. UCF coming off a 20-16 win over East Carolina. Cincinnati coming off a 52-3 win over Temple. Look, this is Cincinnati's season. They're trying to make some noise. Moved up to number 3 in prime playoff position here. Love Cincinnati. This UCF team, losing their starting quarterback, defense and offense have been horrible. Gotta be a big win for Cincinnati here. Gonna buy a point, get them at 20.5, just so they don't have to win by 4 touchdowns or 4 scores. They only have to win by 3. That's always my motto. Take Cincy, but a big money line. They'll go to the big money line parlays for sure, but we're rolling with the Bearcats. All right, next matchup, we have the BYU Cougars versus the Baylor Bears. Baylor opening up as 5-point favorites with the over-under at 51.5. You can get Baylor on the money line at -210. BYU plus 180. BYU coming off that bad loss against Boise State. That really did hurt their season. Baylor coming off a very impressive 45-20 win over West Virginia. BYU 16-2 in their last 18. Baylor 5-1 in their last 6. Both teams playing really good, except for BYU coming off that bad loss. I think it's going to be a close, fun game here. I'm going to take BYU plus 5. Next matchup, big matchup between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Georgia Bulldogs. Both teams 6-0. Georgia finally taking over that number 1 spot with Bama losing. Georgia opening up as 21.5-point favorites with the over-under at 44.5. You can get Georgia on the money line at -310. Kentucky plus 1100. Kentucky coming off the 42-21 win over LSU. Georgia coming off that 34-10 win over Auburn. I mean, yeah, Kentucky's playing really great football here, rightfully so. But Georgia, this defense is so elite. It's incredible. Kentucky 0-10 against Georgia. Going to be a big battle here. But you saw what Kentucky they did to Auburn and Arkansas, especially when Arkansas was ranked in the top 10. Didn't even give them any points. As much as I would love to go Kentucky plus 21.5, I really do hope it is a close game, but betting against Georgia is so hard right now. I mean, you've seen teams barely be able to get a field goal on them, and especially when you're looking for a cover, it is tough. I'm taking Georgia, buying a point, get them at -20.5. I think they're going to be able to put up tons of points. We're going to see what Kentucky's made of. It's going to be tough on offense for Kentucky. I'll take Georgia on the money line, though. But, yeah, I love Georgia in this matchup. But it's going to be a big test against Kentucky. Big test. Next matchup, we have the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa opening up as 11.5-point favorites with the over-under at 43. You can get Iowa on the money line at -450. Purdue plus 380. Purdue coming off that 13-20 loss against Minnesota. And then Iowa coming off that, big win, 23-20 over Penn State. Yeah, I love Iowa in this matchup here. I mean, ranked number 2, they really need to win out here. Can't afford any kind of a loss against Purdue. They should be able to beat up on Purdue here. Give me Iowa minus 11.5. We'll take them on the money line as well. All right, next matchup, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Bama opening up as 17.5-point favorites with the over-under at 58. You can get Bama on the money line at minus 855, Mississippi State plus 655. Bama, coming off that loss to A&M, 41-38. I don't think anyone ever saw that coming. Mississippi State coming off a 26-22 win over A&M. They beat A&M the week before, which is crazy that they beat A&M, but A&M beat Bama. I'm not sure what that says about Mississippi State, but I'm not really going to look into that. Bama on a 10-game winning streak against Mississippi State. Bama coming off a loss. Hard to ever catch Bama coming off a loss. I think they put it to Mississippi State here. They can't lose another game this season. They pretty much got to win out to really kind of make it back to the playoff hunt. Give me Bama minus 17. We'll take them on the money line. Next matchup, we have the NC State Wolfpack versus the Boston College Eagles. NC State opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 51.5. You can get NC State on the money line at minus 150. Boston College plus 140. NC State coming off that 34-27 win over La Tech. Boston College coming off that 19-13 loss against Clemson. A game they really had. They should have won that game. NC State 8-2 in their last 10, playing really good football here. Boston College 4-1 in their last 5. I mean, both teams playing good football here. Going to be a close matchup. I like NC State more. I think they have a better offense. Should be a battle. I don't hate either side. Such a small spread. But give me NC State minus 2.5, and we'll take NC State here. Next matchup, we have the Ole Miss Rebels versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Ole Miss opening up as 2.5-point favorites with the over-under at 82. You can get Ole Miss on the money line at minus 140, Tennessee plus 120. Ole Miss coming off that 52-51 win over Arkansas. Tennessee coming off that 45-20 win over South Carolina. Mississippi 2-5 in their last 7 against Tennessee. 5-1 covering against Tennessee. Tennessee playing really good football here. They've been putting up a lot of points. So is Ole Miss. I mean, the over-under's at 82. I could still see that hitting the over, which is crazy. I like Ole Miss. It's going to be a shootout kind of game here. I'm going to take Ole Miss on the 2.5 points, and we'll take Ole Miss on the money line. Next matchup, we have the TCU Horned Frogs versus the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma opening up as 13.5-point favorites with the over-under at 64. You can get Oklahoma on the money line at minus 545. TCU plus 445. Oklahoma. We're going to see who starts at quarterback for Oklahoma. We saw the quarterback get benched, and the backup came in. It looked really good for Oklahoma. We're going to see what kind of controversy there is for the Oklahoma quarterback situation. TCU coming off that 52-31 win over Texas Tech. Oklahoma coming off that 55-48 win over Texas. TCU 0-7 against Oklahoma. Oklahoma on a 10-game winning streak. We'll see what happens with Oklahoma. I just trust Oklahoma more in this matchup. I think they could definitely win by 2 scores here. Give me Oklahoma minus 13.5, and we'll take them on the money line. And then the last matchup, we have the Arizona State Sun Devils versus the Utah Utes. You can get Arizona State opening up as 1-point favorites with the over-under at 51. You can get Arizona State on the money line at minus 115, Utah minus 102. Arizona State coming off that 28-10 win over Stanford. Utah coming off that 42-26 win over USC. Going to be a tough game here. Arizona State playing really good football. The better team in this matchup. Only a 1-point spread. I think I'm going to lean with Arizona State here. Going to roll with the Sun Devils. That's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Saturday, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.